عن اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ونعم المولى ونعم النصير والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. وقل رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتاب الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. زينوا مجالسكم بالصلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد.
My respected elders, brothers and sisters in Iman, Salamun alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Question: who is Fatimah al-Zahra as a wife, as a mother, and as a role model? Keep this question in the back of your mind, inshallah. When we come towards the position of the Lady of Light, we've covered substantial ground in the past few nights. And we are getting towards the culmination of our discussion. And what we will realize in the next few moments and the next night as we conclude our discussion and we draw towards the conclusion is the actual nucleus and the center of the Ahlul Bayt is Fatimah al-Zahra. Her position is so pivotal that it is the utmost. Why? I mentioned a tradition to you. The analysis was incomplete. There's more depth to it. What was the tradition from Imam al-Askari alayhi salam? The Imam alayhi salam says, we the Imams are the hujjah on the people. And our grandmother Fatimah al-Zahra is a hujjah on us. It's very easy to listen to, difficult to comprehend. We came to one level of analysis where we said that there are two things. There's ma'loom and majhool. Ma'loom is the thing I know what it looks like and I know what I can perceive it. The horse, the donkey, the animal. When I say a cow in your mind, a cow appears and you know exactly how it looks because you've seen it in reality. There are other things which are majhool, like the jinn, the angels. I can tell you about them, you know they exist, but you don't know exactly what they look like. Allah has described them to us, but to the best of the ability that we can comprehend. We may go to the next world and see it's very different. But there's another level here. The hujjah is an entity which increases the ma'rifah of people. What does this mean? Shaheed al-Sadr has a very interesting analysis on this. He says, why do the Ahlul Bayt ask for istighfar? It's a very deep point. Why are the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam asking for istighfar? Are they doing ma'siyah? Are they doing sin? Of course not. They're ma'soom. Of course, 100% we believe this. Why? So why are they doing istighfar? One is to show you and I the adab of dua and istighfar. To understand how we do it. There's another reason. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam told us in authentic traditions that their ma'arifah increases every day. But in what sense? In what aspect? In what level? In halal and haram? They said, no way. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, woe unto you if you think it is in terms of halal and haram. No. Their ma'arifah increases every day with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when they do istighfar, when they ask for forgiveness, they say, Ya Allah, I did not have that level of ma'arifah of yours that I have today. I did not have that level yesterday. That means, based on this tradition from Imam al-Askari, that we are a hujjah on the people and our grandmother Fatimah al-Zahra is a hujjah on us, means that the ma'rifah with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of Fatimah al-Zahra is at the peak. Fatimah al-Zahra is that personality whose real reality is not known on this planet, to be known in another realm. Therefore tonight I want to look at and answer some of the big questions that we are faced with as Muslims in the West and around the globe. Where is, number one, where is Fatimah al-Zahra in the Quran? People say if she's so important she would be in the Quran. I'll tell you exactly where she is in the Quran. Where is Fatimah al-Zahra in the hadith? In the traditions of Rasulullah, where is she? I will show you exactly where she is. With respect to Fatimah al-Zahra, what was her relationship with her husband Amir al-Mu'mineen? How can we learn lessons from this in our lives as well? And what kind of motherhood did Fatimah al-Zahra have? And what impact did that leave on her children? That gave us success in this world and in the next, inshallah. This is our schedule and our agenda for the night, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As we progress forward in this discussion and this conversation, in the Quran al-Majid wa Furqan al-Hamid, when we look at this personality of Fatimah al-Zahra, someone may ask, where is she in the Quran? I would ask, where is she not in the Quran? At every moment Fatimah al-Zahra is in the Quran. It's as if the Quran is reciting a qasida of Fatimah al-Zahra. Fatimah al-Zahra at every moment in time. The first one we mentioned the night before, Surah Al-Kawthar. Surah Al-Kawthar beginning to end, Fatimah al-Zahra is right there in front. As ibn Wa'il, he taunted Rasulullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you taunt my Habib and I let you get away with it? No way. He says, Kawthar, Ya Muhammad, we have given you Kawthar. In the form of Fatimah al-Zahra. Where else? Every verse of the Quran, according to Sadiq Ali Muhammad, our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far Sadiq, salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. Every verse has a zahir and a batin. Zahir meaning the apparent meaning. A batin meaning that is the allegorical meaning, the one that's not so straightforward. And furthermore, the Imam says there are 70 versions of the batin. There are 70 layers of the batin, 70 levels and depths of the batin. With respect to Surah Qadr, the zahir meaning is Laylatul Qadr, where the Quran was revealed. But there's a batin meaning. According to Ayatollah Ja'far Subhani, Jawadi Amuli, many other scholars. Ayatul Tabrizi, the batin meaning of this is what? Fatimah al-Zahra. Why? How? Because somebody may ask, with respect to the Quran being revealed, Laylatul Qadr is the night the Quran was revealed. A question emerges here that many youth ask and many elders ask and people of all sorts ask. The Quran was revealed in Laylatul Qadr in one night. But I thought the Quran was revealed to Rasulullah over 23 years. 13 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina. What's the answer to this? Was it one night or was it over 23 years? It's a good question. The answer the ulama have given. There was both a instantaneous revelation and a gradual revelation. How? You know the Kaaba? This Kaaba where we go for Umrah, for Hajj? Do you know it's a replica? Replica of what? Baytul Ma'mur in the heavens. Do you know Baytul Ma'mur? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his house in the heavens called Baytul Ma'mur, where the angels do tawaf around, do circumambulation around. In Laylatul Qadr, the Quran was revealed from the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Baytul Ma'mur, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heavens. And from that was one instantaneous revelation on Laylatul Qadr. And from Baytul Ma'mur, Arsh of Allah, Baytul Ma'mur in the heavens. From Baytul Ma'mur to us on the ground, over 23 years there was a gradual revelation. That's how this Quran was revealed to you and I. And in fact, when Rasulullah would get the wahi, people would see physical symptoms on him. They would see the level of the verses of the Quran on him. They could see he would sweat. The impact of the verses was so tremendous on Rasulullah. That's the zahir meaning of Surah Al-Qadr. But there's a batin meaning, according to our ulama. That batin meaning is the Imam alayhi salam, that is our grandmother Fatimah al-Zahra. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع. What does it mean? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What do you know what Laylatul Qadr is? Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. This 1,000, the ulama say, it's not something to be taken lightly, because 1,000 was a number that basically the Arabs would say this is limitless, because that was the biggest number they had. They said it's limitless. This is limitless. Tanazzalul malaika, that the malaika descend. The malaika were descending on the house of Fatimah al-Zahra, day in and day out. Up until, the ulama said, Hiya hatta matla al-fajr. Hiya hatta matla al-fajr alludes to Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman Zahur. And it's very apt. The connection between Fatimah al-Zahra and Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman should never be neglected. Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, his most beloved title according to himself is Yabna al-Zahra. Allahu Akbar. The Imam alayhi salam says, my most beloved title is when someone calls me Ibn al-Zahra, the son of Zahra. Why this connection? And this, we will elaborate on this in the subsequent nights. Remember, tonight and the next, this is not something to be taken lightly. There is a connection between Fatimah al-Zahra and Karbala and Imam Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman. Never forget this. It's a pivotal connection. Where else? By the way, I want to shed some light on what scholars of past, not Shias, by the way, have said with respect to the position of Fatimah al-Zahra. Why? Because we live in a world and a time where now people have come forward. I mentioned last night and I will repeat again in the subsequent nights. Unity does not mean conformity. Unity does not mean that I come forward and say that my belief is the same as yours and yours is the same as mine. This is not what it means. And we'll define it tomorrow, inshallah. Why do I say this? Because this leads to confusion in people's minds. What is the reality? What's the truth? What's the essence of the matter? We now live in a time where when we say the fadail of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, people come forward and say, yes, but that person's also good. This companion's also good. This person, this wife of Rasulullah is also good. Whereas in the past, people understood the Ahlul Bayt were the Ahlul Bayt, everyone else was everyone else. Not only Shia scholars, other scholars. Who? Imam al-Shafi'i. Imam al-Shafi'i is Shia? He's not Shia, right? Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali, right? Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. These are not Shias. He says a line of poetry, he says, until when, and until which time will you blame me for loving this man? Referring to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Until when, and until which time will you blame me for loving this man? Was Fatimah al-Zahra married to anyone except him? And was Ahl Ata revealed for anyone except him? You know, sometimes we think Ahlul Bayt are only for the Shias. We should remind our brothers in Ahl Sunnah and other Muslims around the world what your own scholars used to say about Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. One ideology has spread across the world and has taken everyone with it. But what were the scholars of the past? Imam Nasa'i. Is Imam Nasa'i Shia? You know the 6 books Sahih al-Sitta of our brothers in Ahl Sunnah? Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah. You know, one of them is Nasa'i. Imam Nasa'i died how? Imam Nasa'i wrote a book called Khasa'is Amir al-Mu'mineen about the fadail of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Ahl Sunnah scholar. He writes fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Do you know what they said? The Umayyas, the people who had soft spot for Muawiyah and the others, they came to him. They said, we want you to write a book like this about Muawiyah. He says, I could not write a book like this about any other companion of Rasulullah, let alone of all the people you had to pick Muawiyah. He comes and he says, I can't do this. They said, we will not move until you do. He said, I can't do it. They said, you must. He said, I can't. They began to beat him and beat him and beat him to the point that he bled to death. Shia scholar, not Shia scholar. Ahl Sunnah scholar. What did Imam Shafi'i say? Until when, until which time will you blame me for loving this man? Was Fatimah al-Zahra married to anyone except him? Was Hal Ata revealed for anyone except him? Hal Ata, don't forget it. Why? Iqbal. Do you know Iqbal? Iqbal is that writer who is known in the Indian subcontinent as Allama Iqbal. In Iran, he is known as Iqbal Lahori. In fact, they have streets named after him. In fact, the foundation of the Islamic Revolution, the ideology was planted by Iqbal. In fact, they have conferences till this day that say that there's no doubt that the foundation of the Islamic Revolution was built first by Iqbal in terms of vision, then Dr. Ali Shariati in terms of his words, and then of course the ultimate implementation was Sayyid Khomeini, no doubt about that. But many people don't realize, because Iqbal wrote more in Farsi than he wrote in Urdu. And so his writings were well read in that era and that time. And so they knew him very well. But is Iqbal Shia? He's not Shia. Huh? Iqbal, he writes a qasida about Fatimah al-Zahra in Farsi. What does he say? He says, Maryam as yik nisbat Isa aziz. As seh nisbat Hazrat Zahra aziz. He says, Maryam is aziz, she is exalted for one reason. She's the mother of Jesus. But Fatimah al-Zahra is exalted for three reasons. So what three reasons? He continues. He says, Noor-e chashma-e rahmatul lil alameen. The light of the eyes of Rasulullah. Un imam awwaleen wa akharin, the imam of the first and the last of the prophets. Allahu Akbar. Then he continues, Banuya tajdar halata, murtuza mushkil kusha sher khuda. Allahu Akbar. Her husband wears the crown of halata, murtuza mushkil kusha sher khuda. And he continues, it's a long qasida, and he talks about Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. But what is this halata? Why? I mentioned the poetry of Shafi'i and Iqbal because they're not Shias. I mentioned it because they understood, all Muslims accept, that Suratul Insan, Surah Dahar, the same surah, two names, Surah Dahar, Surah Insan, was revealed for Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. How? Why? What happened? Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein are ill. When they're ill, the family does another. They do another. That if they become well, we will fast. And when they do this, that we will fast, they get better and they begin to fast. And when they begin to fast, when this happens, they don't have anything to eat in the house. This was the house of Ali and Fatima. Imam Ali goes to his wife Fatima. Look at the alignment of husband and wife. He says, Fatima, we don't have anything in the house. He says, I know. He said, is it acceptable to you that I go and I take a loan? Very well. So what do you do? Imam al-Mu'i said, I'll go and I'll get some barley in place for some cotton. So I'll bring cotton and you turn it into thread. And then we take the bread, we take the barley and we turn it into bread. Is that acceptable to you? She said, I accept. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he goes and he takes out this loan. When he goes and he takes out the loan, he says, we don't have anything to eat. I just want some cotton. We'll turn it into thread for you. And you give us some barley in exchange for that. He says, very well. Amir al-Mu'mineen comes back. Fatimah al-Zahra, look at Fatimah al-Zahra. She says, this is how much I can spin in one day. She takes 1/3 away. Then she takes 1/3 of the barley. She takes the cotton, she turns it into thread. When she does this, she then takes the barley, grinds it, makes bread, distributes it amongst all the people there. Imam Ali, Fatima herself, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, and Fidda. As soon as they sit down, there's a knock on the door. Salaamu alaykum wa alaykum as-salam, Amir al-Mu'mineen. As you know, when you're sitting down to eat, you're not supposed to get up. But Amir al-Mu'mineen, he first asked who it was. He says, I'm an orphan. At that point in time, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, here. He gives I'm in need of something to eat. Can you give me something to eat? Amir al-Mu'mineen gives his bread. And then Fatimah al-Zahra, Fidda, Hassan, Hussein, everyone gives their bread. And they open their fast with water. Allahu Akbar. The next day, they fast again. When they fast again the next day, Fatimah al-Zahra takes the second portion of cotton, turns it into thread. When she turns it into thread, then she takes the barley, she takes the second portion, and then she makes bread again, distributes it amongst each person. One for Amir al-Mu'mineen, one for Hassan, one for Hussein, one for Fidda. There's a knock on the door. Salaamu alaikum, wa alaikum as-salam. Who is it? I'm a miskeen. I'm a poor person from the city. Can you help me? Can you assist me? I'm hungry. Can you help me? Amir al-Mu'mineen gives his bread. Fatimah al-Zahra, Fidda, Hassan, Hussein. No one could have blamed them if only Amir al-Mu'mineen gave it and they divided the rest amongst themselves. Look at the alignment of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Allahu Akbar. Next day, they fast again. When they fast again, the next day, Fatimah al-Zahra, she's getting weak. She has no energy. She has not eaten anything. None of them have. She turns the last portion of cotton into thread. When she turns it into thread, at that point in time, then she takes the rest of the barley, takes it, grinds it, makes bread. She distributes it to Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, alayhi salam, Fidda, and herself. There's a knock on the door as soon as they sit down. When they sit down, there's a knock on the door. Salaamu alaikum wa alaikum as-salam. Who is it? I'm an asir. I'm a stranger. I'm not from here. Can you please help me? I'm hungry. I need help. I need assistance. Amir al-Mu'mineen gives his bread. Fatimah al-Zahra gives her bread. Every single one of them gives their bread. They open it. They're fast with water. At that point, we're told Rasulullah is in the masjid. The next day, he receives wahi from Jibreel. Ya Rasulullah, your family, Fatima and Ali, in their house, they've been fasting for 3 days. They have not eaten anything. They've been opening their fast with water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the entire Surah Al-Dahr for them, the Surah Al-Insan for them. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَعَصِيرًا. They give out of their love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the poor, to the orphan, and to the wayfarer. Every Muslim on this planet accepts that Surah Al-Dahr, Surah Al-Insan is for Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, no doubt whatsoever. Allah Surah Al-Kawthar, Surah Al-Qadr. Surah Al-Qadr, Fatimah al-Zahra. Surah Al-Dahr, Surah Insan. Where else? Ayat Tathir. At every moment in time you find Fatimah al-Zahra is in the Quran. Where else? Mubahila. One after the other you find Fatimah al-Zahra in the Quran. But where in the hadith? Someone may say. Authentic hadith after hadith from Rasulullah. First of all, Rasulullah would say that Fatima, whenever I long for Jannah, for paradise, I smell the neck of Fatimah al-Zahra. Rasulullah, the one who they say whenever he used to pass an alleyway in Medina, the fragrance in that alley would last for 3 days. This Rasulullah is saying that whenever I want to smell Jannah, I smell my daughter Fatimah al-Zahra. One time Rasulullah is going in the city of Medina. They said, Ya Rasulullah, where are you going? He says, I'm going to Jannah. They said, Ya Rasulullah, what do you mean? You're departing? You're going Miraj, or you're going to be deceased? What is it? He says, no, you didn't understand. He says, I'm going to my daughter Fatima's house. Whenever I long for Jannah on earth, I go to Fatima's house. This was the relationship. Furthermore, in a hadith, Rasulullah in authentic traditions, he says, Fatima bad'atum minni. Fatima is a part of me. It makes sense at some level that Fatima is born from Rasulullah. But at another level, Fatimah al-Zahra's message is a continuation of Rasulullah's message. Allahu Akbar. Further than this, with respect to Fatimah al-Zahra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed a very important position. Where? Hadithul Kisa. Hadithul Kisa. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces the Ahlul Bayt to the people of the heavens, how does He introduce? He says, Hum Fatima wa abuha wa ba'luha wa banuha. sometimes glance over this at a very surface level. But when the ulama look at this, they say that this has a tremendous depth. How? Because whenever you introduce someone to someone else, you introduce it through someone you know better. If I know a brother here, for example, and we have a mutual connection with Brother Ali, you know Brother Ali, it's his cousin. That means the ulama say that the people of the heavens, the angels, they knew Fatima better than the people of this earth. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was introducing and says, you know Fatima, my beloved servant. Allah is saying, you know Fatima, my beloved servant. It is her father, her husband, and her children. That's who it is. Fatima and Hadithul Kisa. At every moment in time, Fatima is being mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith. But furthermore, she is a beautiful lesson for you and I in terms of how a husband and wife should be. You know, we're facing many challenges today, globally. Divorce, broken households. I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. Yes, Islam is that religion which allows, permits divorce. It's not like other faiths where it's till death do us part. But it is the most detested thing in the eyes of Allah that is allowed. We have traditions that say that the arsh of Allah shakes when a divorce takes place. We must teach our young generation, our next generation, there is something called sabr, there is something called patience. I tell you this because there's someone by the name of John Gottman. John Gottman runs a very famous institution on marriage. He's in a very famous book by Malcolm Gladwell in Blink. In 5 minutes, he can tell whether a marriage will last or not. And he says, I look for 4 things. He says the 4 horsemen of doom. Inshallah, this will help our next generation and those who are also married. Because he says 67% of all arguments in marriage are repetitive over a 10, 20, 30 year period. The same arguments over and over again. Why? Because the other party is trying to change the other ones. It doesn't work. He says, what are the 4 things that he looks for? Number 1, he says criticism. If I see criticism, it's a red flag. What does criticism mean? Criticism is when you come forward and say that you didn't take out the trash. Not because you forgot, but because you were trying to harm me, you're trying to hurt me, you didn't want to do what I told you. You make it personal. Number 1, criticism. You didn't take out the trash, not because you forgot. You didn't take out the trash because you're a bad person. Criticism. Number 1. Number 2, defensiveness. Defensiveness. Oh, I did this because this. You're constantly justifying your thing. That may be fine, but when you are being defensive, do you know what happens? Do you know what the other person hears? The other person hears, I'm right, you're wrong. That's what they're hearing. He says defensiveness, second big flag, red flag. Constantly trying to be defensive. Oh, I did this because of this. You don't know. Defensiveness. Number 3, stonewalling. Stonewalling. The same cycles repeat in all different marriages. Same thing. This is just 40 years experience dedicating to this space. Do you know what stonewalling is? Stonewalling is when you say, we're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. Bas keh diya, right? We're not gonna talk about it. That's stonewalling. 3rd level, not gonna talk about it. That's another form of trying to dominate. It's the 3rd horseman of doom. He says the 4th and the worst of it is called contempt. You know what contempt is? Contempt is when you actually psychologically abuse your partner. Contempt is when you say that it's not that you aren't able to understand. You start making personal attacks about the intelligence of the person. You're dumb, you're stupid, you're incompetent, you can't do it. These type of things, when they add up, they lead to a situation that is inevitably gonna break apart. So what is the best solution? The best solution is to learn from the teaching of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Amir al-Mu'mineen Fatimah al-Zahra married for a period, never once was there an argument in their life. How? The alignment of these personalities. Now you may say, that is Amir al-Mu'mineen Fatimah al-Zahra. I agree. They're at the highest level. But maybe we can be close to near the level of their followers. Who am I talking about? You remember Habib ibn Madahir and his wife? What was the alignment of them? Habib says, I've received a letter from my Mawla, from my master. What does it say? It says, he needs help. What are you thinking? He says, I'm thinking if I should go. She says, you're thinking if you should go or not? Give me your armor, give me your sword, I'll go. Habib began to cry. He said, I was just testing you. But I now know what level of musibah my Imam is in. This was the alignment. This is the level that they were at. We are told one point in time, Fatimah al-Zahra, when she married Amir al-Mu'mineen, Rasulullah had said, Fatima, never ask anything from Ali that he's not able to provide. Allahu Akbar. Would Fatima ask? No. But he's giving a lesson for you and I. Amir al-Mu'mineen himself one day complained. He said, Fatima, you never ask me for anything. I'm your husband. I wish I could give you something. What is it? Tell me. She said, no, I don't. I don't want anything from you. You've given me everything that I want. I said, please, Fatima, tell me something I can give you. I can provide for you. She said, maybe if you want to really give me something, maybe you can get me a pomegranate. Allahu Akbar. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, very well, Fatima, I will get you a pomegranate today. Amir al-Mu'mineen goes out, he gets a pomegranate. When he gets this pomegranate, he's coming back home. The heart of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He saw a poor person, an elderly poor man. When he saw this elderly poor man at that point, when he saw him, he said, are you okay? Is everything all right? He said, I'm not well. I'm in need. I'm hungry. He said, what would you like? He said, a pomegranate would be wonderful. Amir al-Mu'mineen gave him the pomegranate. Allahu Akbar. But Allah is witness. At that point in time, Jibreel descended where? To Rasulullah. Jibreel descended to Rasulullah with a tray of pomegranates. At that point in time, Rasulullah said, what's the meaning of this? He said, Ya Rasulullah, Fatima made a request to Ali ibn Abi Talib to bring a pomegranate home. Ali ibn Abi Talib was bringing that pomegranate home when he saw a poor man in the street. He gave him that pomegranate. Allah did not wish to embarrass Ali ibn Abi Talib in front of Fatima al-Zahra. He has sent this entire tray from the heavens. Rasulullah, he sent Salman. He said, Salman, go towards the house of Fatima al-Zahra and drop these off. At that point in time, we're told that Salman goes to the house of Fatima al-Zahra. When Salman goes to the house of Fatima al-Zahra, Fatima says, what is the meaning of this? Says, Lady of Light, I am your servant. I have just brought these pomegranates from the house of Rasulullah on his request. So what's the meaning of it? That your husband, Ali ibn Abi Talib, brought a pomegranate from you, for you. But on the way home, he saw a poor person in the street. And he gave that pomegranate away. And he didn't know how to tell you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heard, and he made sure that Jibreel descends with pomegranates. These are pomegranates from the heavens for you. At that point in time, she began to smile. Ali ibn Abi Talib entered. Ali ibn Abi Talib entered in a state where his head was hanging. Not because he had done anything wrong, but because my wife asked me once for something, and I gave away. Because Ali ibn Abi Talib was such a person that he could never say no. This was the state of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We are told there's once a moment in time where the two men, one from Banu Umayyah and one from Banu Hashim, they're having a debate. Who's more generous? When they're having a debate, who's more generous? They said, well, let's settle the debate. How do we settle the debate? You go to your tribe, I'll go to my tribe. Let's see who collects more. When they go, the man from Banu Umayyah, he goes to one person. He says, I'm seeing what's going on. Can you please give me some income or some money? He says, very well. Gives him 10,000 dirham. Then he goes to another one. He says, can you please help me? Can you please assist me? He says, very well. 10,000 dirham. He goes to one after another in Banu Umayyah. He goes to 10 people and he collects 10,000 dirham. The person from Banu Hashim was smart. He knew exactly where to go. He went straight to the house of Hassan al-Mujtaba. When he went to the house of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, he says, can you please assist me? Can you please help me? Straight away, Imam alayhi salam gave him 100,000 dirham. When the Imam alayhi salam gave him 100,000 dirham, the second house, he was a very smart one. The second house he goes to, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. When he goes to the house of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam knew. And he was setting a principle. He said, did you go to someone else's house before you came to mine? He said, yes. He said, who? He said, your brother Hassan al-Mujtaba. He says, then you know I cannot give you more than him. Out of respect, it's his elder brother. There's an adab. He says, but I'll give you. He gives him 100,000 right away, straight away. They come back. And when they come back, he says to the Banu Hashim man, says to the Banu Umayyah man, he says, how much did you collect? From how many people? He says, I collected 100,000 from 10 different people. He was very braggadocious. He was very happy. He says that I collected 100,000 from 10 people only. He says, how much did you collect? He said, I collected 200,000 from only 2 people. But now listen what happens. The man from Banu Umayyah goes back to Banu Umayyah and he throws the 10,000 back to each of them. He said, I was testing your generosity. He said, you failed. He said, what happened? The person from Banu Umayyah, we're from Banu Umayyah, I was testing your generosity. I was having a competition with Banu Hashim. They collected more and from less people. All the Banu Umayyah took their money back. They said, it's a good deal. We get our money back. We lost, but at least we get our money back. This is what happened when the man went back to Banu Hashim. He went back to Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba and Imam Husayn alayhi salam. They were sitting together. He said, Yabna Rasulillah, I was not in need of money. I was just testing the generosity between Banu Hashim and Banu Umayyah. Here's the money back. The Imams looked at him. He says, we Ali Muhammad, when we give something, we don't take it back. He said, to us, it doesn't make any difference if you keep this money or you leave it in the street for people to take. It doesn't matter to us. This is the generosity of Ali Muhammad. Allahu Akbar. These are the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So you and I have an understanding and a cognizance and a ma'rif of who these personalities are. Develop this relationship with the Ahlul Bayt. It will pay you tremendous dividends in this world and in the next. It's not to be taken lightly. I tell you with sincerity, miracles will happen in your life with this connection to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and in particular to Fatimah az-Zahra. Miracles, miracles. The poet says, Mere khayal ko nisbat hui Madine se. Mere khayal ko nisbat hui Madine se. Mehak gulab ki aane lagi pasine se. Mere khayal ko nisbat hui Madine se. Mehak gulab ki aane lagi pasine se. और सुना है आतिश दोज़ख में डूब जाता है, सुना है आतिश दोज़ख में डूब जाता है, उतार दे जिसे आले नबी सफीने से. सुना है आतिश दोज़ख में डूब जाता है, उतार दे जिसे आले नबी सफीने से. और मैं मुश्किलों की तबीयत बहाल कर दूंगा, हर एक ख्वाब को अपना ख्याल कर दूंगा. अली के नाम ने जुरत ये दी के ज़ेरे लहद میں خود فرشتوں پر کوئی سوال کر دوں گا. علی کے نام نے جرأت یہ دی کہ زیر لحد میں خود فرشتوں پر کوئی سوال کر دوں گا. درود بھیجے محمد والے محمد. دونوں جہاں کی مانگتا نعمت حسین سے. آپ کے لیے پڑھو. دونوں جہاں کی مانگتا نعمت حسین سے, کم ظرف مانگتا رہا بیعت حسین سے. دونوں جہاں کی مانگتا نعمت حسین سے, کم ظرف مانگتا رہا بیعت حسین سے. مولا کیا نہ دیتے. کم ظرف مانگتا رہا بیعت حسین سے, اور آیا تھا سب سے دیر میں لیکن کمال ہے. آیا تھا سب سے دیر میں لیکن کمال ہے, اور سب سے پہلے لے گیا جنت حسین سے. آیا تھا سب سے دیر میں لیکن کمال ہے, اور سب سے پہلے لے گیا جنت حسین سے. درود بھیجے محمد والے. زندہ باد. زندہ باد. سبحان اللہ سبحان اللہ. ابھی امام زمانہ کا بھی ذکر آیا تھا, اس پہ ہی کچھ اشعار یاد آئے کہ مثل زلف شب امید بکھر کر دیکھوں, عشق کی آخری سرحد سے گزر کر دیکھوں. سوچتا ہوں یہ بھلا رسم عریضہ کب تک, اس برس خود ہی میں دریا میں اتر کر دیکھوں. سوچتا ہوں یہ بھلا رسم عریضہ کب تک, اس برس خود ہی میں دریا میں اتر کر دیکھوں. اور اے باغ عسکری کے مقدس ترین پھول, اے باغ عسکری کے مقدس ترین پھول, اے کعبہ فروع نظر قبلہ اصول, آ ہم سے کر خراج دل و جاں کبھی وصول. اور تیرے بغیر ہم کو قیامت نہیں قبول. دنیا نہ مال و زر نہ وزارت کے واسطے, دنیا نہ مال و زر نہ وزارت کے واسطے, ہم جی رہے ہیں تیری زیارت کے واسطے. دنیا نہ مال و زر, دنیا نہ مال و زر نہ وزارت کے واسطے, ہم جی رہے ہیں تیری زیارت کے واسطے. درود بھیجے محمد و آل محمد. دنیا نہ مال و زر نہ وزارت کے واسطے, ہم جی رہے ہیں تیری زیارت کے واسطے. The Musibah Fatimah al-Zahra. The narrations say 40 days or 75 days or 95 days. Bibi did not live longer than this. Tremendous tragedy. Bibi Fatimah al-Zahra comes home one day crying to Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen after Rasulullah passed away. Do you know what she said? She said, Ya Abul Hassan, do you know what happened today? Abul Hassan, my husband, there was a tree in which I used to cry under its shadow. Under its shade, I used to cry. Do you know what the people of Medina did? They cut that tree down, Ya Abul Hassan. Allah. Traditions say, narrations say, Imam Sadiq Ali Muhammad, our sixth Imam, says that there are 5 people in history who cried more than anyone else. Do you know who they are? He says, number 1 was Adam. Adam, when he was removed from Jannah, he cried so much. He was considered one of the people who cried the most in history. He said, who else? He said, Yaqub. When Yaqub lost Yusuf, he cried so much he lost his eyesight. This is why Imam Sajjad said, when they said, Imam Sajjad, till when will you cry? And until which time will you cry? Imam Sajjad said, you didn't do justice to me. Yaqub had 1 Yusuf. I had 18 Yusufs slaughtered in front of my eyes. The first is Adam, the second is Yaqub, the third was Yusuf himself. When he was in the prison, he would cry so much. At that point in time, do you know who the fourth was? The Imam says the fourth one was Fatimah al-Zahra. Allahu Akbar. The Imam said the fourth one was Fatimah al-Zahra. And then the Imam says the fifth one was Imam Sajjad himself. At that point in time, they said, Yabna Rasulillah, how long did all of them cry for? He said, Adam cried for many years. He said, Yusuf cried for many years. He said, Yaqub cried for many years. Yusuf cried for many years. Imam Sajjad cried for 35, 40 years. He said, but what about Fatimah al-Zahra? She only cried for 40 days or 75 days. Or 95. Imam said, don't look at how many days. Don't look at the duration. Look at the intensity of our crying. Ajrukum ala Allah. Ajrukum ala Allah. Do you know what would happen? Ayatullah Jawadi Abuli, Ayatullah Jafar Subhani. They said that when she used to cry, when Fatimah al-Zahra cried, was it possible? Medina was very big. How would everyone in Medina hear her crying? He says, he gives the answer. He says it wasn't that when she would cry, everyone would hear. There would be an earthquake in Medina when she would cry. The city would begin to shake. The daughter of Rasulullah is crying. Ajrukum, ajrukum. Ajrukum ala Allah, ajrukum ala Allah. We are told on her final day, Fatimah al-Zahra, she called Asma. Asma was her servant. She said, Asma, today is my last day on this earth. Today is my last day on this planet. I'm going to go into my room and I am going to recite the Quran. And when you hear that I have become quiet, know that I have left this world. But Asma, my children, Hassan and Hussein, they will come very soon. Make sure they eat something. At that point in time, Fatimah al-Zahra goes into her room. When she goes into her room, she begins to recite the Quran. After some time, she becomes quiet. When she becomes quiet, Asma knows she has left. But after some moments, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein enter into the house. When they enter into the house, Asma says, oh children, eat something. Will you not have something to eat? They said, Asma, where is our mother Fatimah al-Zahra? She says, children, eat something first. They said, Asma, when have you seen us eat without our mother Fatimah al-Zahra? At that point in time, the two boys, they go into their mother's room. They see that their mother has departed this world. Ajrukum ala Allah. How far is the distance between the house of Ali and Fatima and Masjid al-Nabawi? The door opens into the masjid. وَسَدَّ الْأَبْوَابَ إِلَّا بَابًا. They closed all the doors except the doors of Ali and Fatima. There is no gap. There is no distance. Ayatullah Wahid al-Khurasani says a line that breaks the heart. Do you know what he said? How far is the distance between the house of Ali and Fatima and the masjid? Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, they leave the house, they go into the masjid, they see their father, they say, Ya Abul Hassan, Ya Ali al-Murtada, our mother Fatima has died. Do you know what happened to Fatih Khaybar? Ayatullah Wahid al-Khurasani says, he took a few steps, Ali al-Murtada fell to the ground. He got up, he took a few more steps, he fell to the ground. stayed there. He got up, he took a few more steps. 3 times Ali al-Murtada fell to the ground in only a short distance to the house. That's how much the tragedy of Fatima al-Zahra broke Ali's heart. Ajrukum ala Allah, ajrukum ala Allah. Amir al-Mu'minin gets to Fatima al-Zahra. He makes all the arrangements as per the will of Fatima al-Zahra for the ghusl and the kafan. But he invites all the children to say their final salams to their mother Fatima al-Zahra. He calls Zainab and Hassan. But there is one child who doesn't come. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin looks. He said, Hussein, will you not say goodbye to your mother Fatima al-Zahra? Imam al-Hussein says, I have never gone to my mother Fatima without her calling me. Sheikh Abbas al-Qummi, Sahib Mafati al-Jinan says, this line broke Fatima's heart. She extended her hands. She said, Hussein, come to your mother, Fatima. أجركم على الله, أجركم على الله, أجركم على الله. This is one situation, this is one scenario, but there's a very different scenario. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin, 10 basta ek jumla kahunga, aapne khali suna कि बीबी फातिमा रहलत कर गई. 70 कदम दूर ज़ैनब ने देखा भाई के गले पे खंजर चल रहा था. बीबी ने कहा पिसरे साद मेरा माजा ज़िबा हो रहा है, तू खड़ा देख रहा है. अजरुकुम अल्लाह, अजरुकुम अल्लाह. और बीबी फातिमा 10 बस्ता एक जुमला कहूंगा. आपने इमाम हुसैन को बुला लिया मगर आई है शाम गरीबा. बीबी ज़ैनब पानी बच्चों को दे रही है. एक कूजा बीबी सकीना को दिया. बीबी सकीना ने कहा फूफी अम्मा आपने मुझे पानी क्यों दिया? बीबी ने कहा क्योंकि तुम सबसे छोटी हो. बीबी सकीना मक्तल में उतर गई. बीबी ज़ैनब ने कहा कहाँ का इरादा है? बीबी ने कहा फूफी अम्मा आप ही ने तो कहा था जो सबसे छोटा हो उसे पानी दिया जाता है. मेरे 6 महीने वाला अली असगर उसे पानी नहीं मिला. अजरुकुम अल्लाह, अजरुकुम अल्लाह. आखिरी रिवायत हो उसके बाद माता. आखिरी रिवायत करबला के उलमा ये रिवायत पढ़ते हैं. ये कहते हैं कि जब बीबी ज़ैनब ने पानी दिया बीबी सकीना को, एक जुमला का बीबी सकीना ने कहा फूफी अम्मा आपने मुझे पानी क्यों दिया? बीबी ने कहा क्योंकि तुम सबसे प्यासी थी. बीबी सकीना मक्तल में उतर गई. एक दूसरी जानिब चली. बीबी ज़ैनब ने कहा सकीना किधर का इरादा है? एक लाशे के करीब पहुंची. एक जुमला कहा बाबा मैं पानी लाई हूं. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله, صلى الله عليك يا أمير المؤمنين, صلى الله عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين, صلى الله عليك يا حسن المجتبى السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Ya Allah, grant all the hajat of all the mu'mineen who are present here. Ya Allah, grant all the shifa to all those who are ill. Ya Allah, allow all of our youth and our children to succeed in their exams and their education. Ya Allah, grant success to this community and the Shia community globally, inshallah. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his companions when he returns, and allow us to see the revenge of his grandmother Fatimiyah Zahra. Ya Zahra, Ya Hussein.